Thank you very much for making a date on the marketplace. Welcome back. Now to a very fair story. Assets of directors of the 7 defunct banks are likely to be frozen and sold to help defray cost of liquidation. This is one of the options the Economic and Organized Crime Office (YOCO) is considering instead of an outright prosecution if these directors are found guilty. We have details in the following report.
The asset freeze option is being considered only if it's established after investigations that these directors committed any criminal act or, let's say, negligence of duty, which led to the collapse of these financial institutions. There is some pressure from the public on the various investigative bodies and even the Bank of Ghana to prosecute the said directors who misused the regulators' funds. But persons close to these investigative bodies say they want to look at punitive measures, target these individuals, and also help recover the cost of liquidation rather than prosecuting them if they are found guilty. The Economic and Organized Crime Office is said to have begun formal investigations into the activities of the 5 banks that collapsed. We also understand some individuals that contributed to the collapse of UT and Capital Bank had already been invited, including some directors at the Bank of Ghana. However, some of these banks have rejected the findings of Bank of Ghana's commissioned report.
Meanwhile, former board chairman of the defunct Capital Bank, Dr. Mensa Otabil, says he has submitted himself to investigations by the Economic and Organized Crimes Office into circumstances that led to the collapse of the Capital Bank. In a statement, he clarified that his position was a non-executive role and was not involved in the day-to-day management and operations of the bank, while expressing concern for those who may have lost their jobs or been adversely affected by the developments. Dr. Otabil said he would continue to be of support and mentor entrepreneurs. And in another development, the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, has justified the Bank of Ghana's efforts to name, shame, and retrieve all monies that cannot be accounted for by managers of all the 7 defunct local banks. He was speaking to George Wiafe at a tax dialogue held at the Ministry of Finance here in Accra.
Hopefully, with what we are going to do in the banking sector, everybody will begin to realize that those periods are gone. If I'm going to have to spend 5.6 billion to bail out the banking system because I have to protect depositors, the question is not one of a banking failure. I need to be able to tell you that that managing director or that shareholder stole that money, and it has to be very upfront because that's 5 billion that I'm using as opposed to in SHS or school feeding or maternal pregnancy, and the issue of sentiments are out of it. It's not a bank failure. It's individuals who have done something to bring us in this compromising position. I think it is that same sort of sense of social justice that we should bring to bear in the tax administration system. So we would work with faith-based organizations for that and see how their leadership will lead to a real structural attitudinal change as to where we have to go.
We will also be bringing you a reaction of the Ghana Bankers College on this particular development soon. Still staying in the financial sector, the Ghana Cooperative Susu Collectors Association say they are feeling the pinch of the collapse of the 7 local banks in one year. General Manager Obed Asumeni indicates clients are entertaining a lot of fear with them.
There is an impact on the development. Currently, the current development in the financial sector is having huge impact on Susu collectors because the confidence of the customers is waning. It has waned. Already we had the issue of runaway Susu collectors that they were dealing with, which the association was dealing with. But currently with our big brothers in the sector also going down, then eventually the market women will tell you, if the big banks are now having challenges, what about you Susu collectors? But one of the things that the Susu collector has, which is an advantage, and the people who really patronize Susu collectors, is that, you know, they are timely. It's a door-to-door step sort of service, even on weekends. And you know, most of our market women don't operate formal bank accounts, and really those even who operate bank accounts, some of them don't have these ATMs that they can go and do withdrawals over the weekend on Sundays and Saturdays. However, the Susu collector is handy. Any emergency situation, they are able to give and pay depositors. And so this still makes them competitive, and it's traditional. Susu collection has been with us since 16th century. That is what the documentations are saying, and this has been with us. And most of the banks have tried severally to mimic the Susu methodology and has been successful. So in the whole, it has had impact, but again, we remain relevant, and we are trying to assist our members by, again, going to the market to educate the market women on how they should have confidence in our members and continue to save with them.
And we'll certainly bring you more on the concerns of Susu collectors on the AM Business on AM Show tomorrow, Wednesday. Now, more banks are pooling resources to meet the December deadline for the 400 million minimum capital requirement. Joy Business has been speaking to General Manager in charge of Finance and Strategy of Republic Bank, Benjamin Joboku, who disclosed the bank will, by September 2018, meet its capital requirement.
Republic Bank is assuring it will meet its minimum capital requirement of 400 million cedis by September this year. The General Manager in charge of Finance and Strategy, Benjamin Joboku, noted that the bank is currently open for strategic acquisitions with some struggling banks which are interested in merging ahead of the December 31st deadline.
When other CEOs and then other chief executives, other chief finance officers are thinking, me, I'm under less stress because I have the money, I've met my stated capital, and that will be reflecting in my publication in September, in that we are looking for opportunities. So when the opportunity comes, we are ready to acquire. So it's one of our strategy pillars to get some banks that are available for us to buy.
A subsidiary of Republic Financial Holdings Limited, Republic Bank is pledging a special interest in the financing of private education. Benjamin Joboku says low-interest loan packages for customers forms part of the bank's resolve to support education financing in Ghana.
We understand the need and the challenges of our customers. So we don't wait for the customers to come. So we expect that this time of the year, during the Xmas, during the Easter, during this period where children will be going to school, our customers, or the prospective one, will need a financial support. So we need to go to them, not them coming to us to need a financial support. We anticipate their needs ahead of time. So therefore, we design a product to meet their needs before even they think about where do I get money to pay my school fee, my dependent school fees, pay the school fees of my professional fees. Those are the reasons why we are coming out with this product.
With just 4 months for banks to meet the minimum capital requirement set by the Bank of Ghana, some banks have confirmed they are in the good position to meet the deadline.
Now, the Ghana Institution of Engineering is leading an advocacy on behalf of the engineering community for the passage of a legislative instrument to fully implement the Engineering Council Act. The Act, when passed into law, will see all civil engineers without licenses sanctioned and blacklisted to operate within the country. Engineer Dr. Kwame Boache is the past president of the Ghana Institution of Engineering and is leading a member of the advocacy team.
Forcing the highest standards of the engineering profession by each of us. And here we are looking seriously at the issue of standards, integrity. We're looking at honesty, and we are looking at individuals doing professional engineering so that engineering shoddy works by engineers anywhere will not be tolerated. Someone has even said somewhere that there are no bad contractors but bad engineers. We want to disprove this. We are saying that engineers are not bad and that we can do the work well once we are guided and once there are sanctions perhaps against those who will be performing badly. The truth is that when we have brought this LI into being, then the sanctions will apply. The sanctions will actually apply for individuals. I've already stated that those who may offend the law, this LI, to be 5,000 penalty units, and or an imprisonment of 2 years, or both, and it's stated in the regulations that we are passing.
Now, CEO of network marketing company Max International says the performance of its business in the last 10 years is paving way for more business investments in the country. The business has employed over 39,000 people and paid more than 200 million Ghana cedis in bonuses since it started operations. JoyNews says Ghana has one of the conducive environments to do business in Africa. He spoke with Live Business when he stopped over in Kumasi as part of his nationwide tour. Prince Apia reports.
Hundreds of employees of Max International Ghana converged at the CCB auditorium of the KNUST to meet the CEO for the first time. The CEO is in Ghana as part of a tour to engage members of the company and encourage prospective clients to join. JoyNews says Ghana has a conducive environment for businesses like network marketing to thrive.
Well, for the young people have a lot of energy, right? And young people have an unbelievable amount of intelligence, and they're hardworking. So you have to direct that intelligence, that talent somewhere. That has something to do so that they can build upon it instead of being frustrated. And so we give them that opportunity, and we give them the proper training so that they can take that intelligence, they can take that energy, and they can provide their communities with a product that is so important. And that the company is here. Company is here to stay. We're here to partner long term. It's not about make a little money here and then run away. No. We're about partnering with the people and building. And I want to set an example for all of the other companies in the world that, hey, this place, Ghana, great place to do business. Come here. Intelligent people, hardworking people. And if they have the same level of commitment that we have, the economy grows, jobs are created, and everybody's life is made better.
So tell us about the company has recorded significant growth in sales since inception of the operations in 2014. Because up to 50% of sales revenue is paid to distributors, the numbers has increased to over 39,000 in a matter of 4 years. Many of those sales are from customers who have had significant improvement in their lives after using their drugs. Say Java is one of them.
I was a physician assistant working with the Ghana Health Service. I joined the company through a friend, and then because of hard work, dedication, and the training that was given to us by the company, I've been able to affect my own life. Currently, I'm doing the business full time, and a lot more of other people that have also been part of this. Significantly, I'll relate the success at Max not just by the dollar, but the impact and satisfaction you get by helping other people.
There have been many questions about the sustainability of the business, but Assistant General Manager Miriam Mahama says the business is very sustainable.
We are not just partnering with people just to earn the money. It's also about personal development, to be able to impact the other people. We want to bring significant change in the lives of a lot of people. So it's not just about making the money, it's about getting trained. And we do free trainings. It's about getting trained so that you can train the other. That's highly sustainable. We are here to say, I can say that we are just starting. This is just the beginning. You haven't seen anything yet. We want to go to all the regions in Ghana. Come 2 years, probably we might have 2 offices in each region.
Currently, it has 5 offices in Kumasi, Sunyani, Takoradi, Cape Coast, and Ho. Prince Apia reporting.
And we're still live on the marketplace on JoyNews. Now, moving on, Dean of the National Banking College, Dr. Francis Asreku, is calling on the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana to disclose identities of chartered members who were involved in the mismanagement of the 7 banks that collapsed and went into consolidation. This, he believes, will make the work of law enforcement agencies easier in ensuring that all who contributed to the loss of the investments face the full rigors of the law. Dr. Sesreku believes this will serve as a deterrent to other incoming members of the institute. Now, he made the remarks during a keynote address to launch the book on how UT and Capital Bank collapsed. Ebenezer Sabute was there, and he's joined me in the studio for more of the development. Eben, why is this Dr. Sesreku saying this?
Okay, so there's this fear that normally when there's such incidents, unions, institutions, and associations try to protect their members, saying that this person has not been involved, he's not part of management, he didn't contribute to, the loss of the company or the group. So what Dr. Sesreku sought to, put in the public domain or request the CIB to do is many of these managers, directors of these banks, are members of the Chartered Institute of Bankers. So it is about time, or this is the time, for you to disclose their identities. Tell us that this person has been a chartered member of the CIB and he was the managing director or director of so-and-so bank, and therefore he contributed to the collapse of the bank, so that the YOCO, the CIDs, and all other security agencies or the investigative bodies can get hold of him fast and do whatever the necessary that they have
so
to do.
In other words, he's advocating the name, shame, and the retrieval of all monies from
I think you are right in that sense. Yes, just right. That he couldn't put it, in that plans. Exactly. Yes, so he tried to modify it a bit, but it's the same name and shape.
All right. So you had the launch of a book on UT and Capital Banks.
Yes.
Now, before we come to the launch, did you see any of these, members of the banks, the defunct banks, there at the event?
I haven't seen top management members, but I even had a chat with some of these staff. But these people are junior, staff of these various banks. I spoke to one guy from Capital Bank, but he didn't want to go on record because, according to him, he came there on a personal note and he wouldn't like to grant any interview or that. But some of them were there, and you could see that what happened, some of them are still going through the trauma. It's unfortunate that such an incident happened, especially those who are still not having any employment as we speak. They are still going through the trauma. So yes, some of them were there, but others too couldn't come. Most of them who were there, you could see that they're having effect of this.
Now, did they talk about the fact that the Bank of Ghana's fits and proper guidelines under the Banking Act and Specialized Deposit Taking Act would have a significant impact on some of these?
Yes, so it was part of, I think that's either chapter 3 or 2, not too sure, of the book, where he was talking about the sleeping godfather rule. So the godfather in this case is the Bank of Ghana, and then at a certain point, the external auditors, where they're supposed to check and ensure that the books of these banks are clean, but they pass it on as to whether it's good or bad. You and I may not know. And then also the supervision department of the Bank of Ghana, which is supposed to ensure that whatever activity the banks are taking, is the right thing that they are supposed to do according to the law or according to the license that they have. Right. If you have a commercial banking license, you do what you are supposed to do. If you have a universal banking license, you do what you are supposed to do. So yes, he put the blame one way or the other on both the Bank of Ghana and then the external auditors as well. So it's part of the book. The book is about 13 chapters or 12 chapters.
I was coming to that. What are some of the highlights of the book apart from what you've just stated?
Okay, so it also spoke about the media. We asking the relevant questions. We go for the AGMs, we meet the shareholders, and we sing praises to them, allegedly, without asking the right questions, that this external auditor have been here or this internal auditor have been here. This figure doesn't match. We as a media should be able to have that courage. Even though it's a private business, we should be able to have that courage to ask the question that how come you have this figure when it's supposed to be this figure? So at a point, the blame also came to us. And also the fact that in the case of UT Bank, he revealed that as far back as 2014, the bank could have been safe because there was this proposed management changes. But due to one or two, it couldn't come on. Certain incompetent people were put at places that they were not supposed to be, positions that they were not supposed to be there, and this might have led to the collapse of the bank. So it gave a background of so many issues that happened.
And the book gave recommendations to prevent future occurrences like these?
Yes, it gave recommendations. So for instance, the supervision department of the Bank of Ghana, it gave recommendation that the department needs to be well resourced so that they can be able to do their mandate, they can be able to carry on with their mandates very well. And then also recommended some other measures for external auditors and internal auditors to ensure that the accounts that they pass, like these various banks, are clean for both their shareholders, customers, and the investors as well.
Very well. Now, Ebenezer, a year ago, you were at the forefront, of the covering of the collapse of UT and Capital banks. Now, 1 year on, 5 other banks have joined the line. Recounting this trend, I mean, what do you have to say?
I think it was that euphoria. I wish it doesn't occur again, because moving from one bank to the other, not going to get any, or not ensuring that there's something going on right, but going to report citizens who are going to lose their job. And as I speak with you, the Bank of Ghana lost about more than 6 billion out of this. And also today at the launch, the guy did reveal that there was some 8 billion loss in value as a result of this. So the experience hasn't been too good, but I think that's the work we are doing, so we'll continue to do it. When it happens again, we'll report it, because that is our work. We'll only ask the managers to ensure that their books are clean and they follow the right procedures.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer, as we continue to keep soldiering on. And my colleague, Ebenezer Sabute, bring us up to speed with some developments at the banking college today. Now, away from that, even before getting his hands on funds to start a business or an agribusiness enterprise, Emmanuel Tete Apeku is making good use of the knowledge he has acquired while participating in the Cosmos Innovation Center Agritech Challenge. He's already started rearing livestock in his house. In this edition of KIC Profile, we explore how members of Team Profish, a group that wants to start a fish distribution network, is leveraging on their newly acquired skills to establish an agritech business.
Lojano means fish market in the Ga dialect, and once these styrofoam boxes are branded with Lojano stickers, they will be ready for delivery. Each box will contain 25 kilos of tilapia ordered by clients. This process is part of Team Profish's preparation towards the final pitch of the Cosmos Innovation Center Agritech Challenge in October. Members of Profish, who are starting a tech-based fish distribution network, are determined to show judges how efficiently the business will be run.
What we are actually doing is going to the ground and actually starting the business. We are preparing towards the pitch, all right, but we want to show them that yes, we are actually working on a viable business. So then we are delivering the fish. We want to see the cash experience, to see the challenges, and then we will fine-tune our business before the final pitch. So we are definitely sure that yes, we are on the right course.
Before meeting her colleagues to help out with the branding at Capri's in Accra, Caroline was at a fish market in Kaswa to observe and interact with sellers.
This morning, wanted to experience, have a feel of what goes on every day with people who buy fish in bulk, the process they go through, the time they have to get there, and all that. Earlier on, we mentioned it in the pitch after interviewing them, but beyond the interview, we wanted to observe and experience what they also go through.
The fish market was of interest to members of Profish because they believe they can make an impact.
I'm hoping that every Ghanaian will have the cheaper tilapia in his plate, and then we'll go across the West Africa with our product.
5 days to deadline, my team member just quit the team because he had found an interesting team he wanted to be with.
We were supposed to see each other, like identify the strength and then come together to build something. But funny enough, I went for an interview. I didn't even know I was going for an interview. At that point, I was contemplating, should I maintain my original team, grow with them? But then eventually I decided to stick with this and then I think we've come far.
An offer came from, I think, Caroline to join the team. I came in, sat with them, talked to them, and I realized that no, these are people I could work with because they were having a mind concept of not starting someone's dream, but starting a team's dream.
A lot of team come to me to join the team, invite me to join the team because I have a tech background and I'm coming from Mewati Entrepreneurial School of Technology in MEST. So I was just waiting for the good team, and when a friend of mine called me, there are two ladies who want a tech guys to join the team. I said, okay, I will join them.
Even as they work to establish this business, Emmanuel decided to venture into farming after gaining a lot of insight through the several capacity building trainings organized by KIC.
KIC has been one of the best decisions I've ever taken because as I speak to you today, I have a backyard farm with about 50 fowls, 5 turkeys and guinea fowls that I'm yet to receive. That's to say, it would have been very difficult to try to raise some funds to do certain things, to do the kind of market research we did with KIC, to know and understand certain things in the industry. Now, KIC
And we'll certainly bring you another edition of the Cosmos KIC Agri-Tech Challenge on JoyNews Prime later tonight. And on that note, we wrap up this afternoon's edition of the Marketplace. My name is Emmanuel Apwachi. Yeah, if you have a good afternoon.